Hello beauties! We are diving into the world of flat iron styling today. Whether you're heading to the office or for a girls' night out, these 3 looks will have you feeling confident and looking your best. In this video, I'll be sharing all my hair knowledge with you that I have learned over my 17-year hair career to ensure that you never rock a bad hair day, from what products to use to get the most out of each look, all the way to maintaining your hair's health. We are covering it all. Are you ready? Let's go. Before we get started, if you are one who likes to get right to the point and see just the tutorial aspects of this video, I have everything time-stamped. But as always, you will learn and get the most out of this video and your hair by watching in order. Look 1, smooth and sleek. Now you might be thinking, I've been straightening my hair for years, Summer. You can't tell me anything new. But trust me, there are some game-changing tips that you need to know. So many of my clients with coarse, frizzy hair were never able to get their hair to stay smooth and sleek. They would always say,
I could never get my hair look as nice as when you do it.
But when I asked them what their routine was at home, it turned out that they were never doing any of the steps that I take with each and every client to make their smooth, sleek style last. Step 1 is applying your hair products. For those of you with wavy, curly, frizzy hair, you need to be sure that you are using smoothing products like Moroccan oil smoothing lotion or something like Bedhead's After Party. These are going to tame and smooth out your hair during your blow dry prior to your iron work. It is best to apply these starting at your ends and working your way up your hair strands. And what residue, product residue, is left over on your hands, you are then gonna work that into the hair along your hairline and scalp. These are both highly concentrated, so a very little goes a long way. For my fine-haired ladies, even though we are creating a smooth, sleek look, you are still going to want to use a volume product to help open and expand your cuticle layer of hair. A single volume mousse like Moroccan Oil's volumizing mousse or Paul Mitchell's extra sculpting foam are gonna be the perfect options for you. These are gonna add a bit of that texture to your hair that's gonna come in handy on your day 2 or 3 post blow dry and iron work. Because fine hair is more susceptible to oil, the grit and texture a volume product provides is gonna help absorb some of those oils first before they work their way through the rest of your hair. Step 2, when it comes to a smooth, sleek look from your flat iron, is blow drying your hair the right way. This is going to set the tone for getting max smoothness in your hair, and it's gonna prevent excessive heat use when flat ironing. The more wild and crazy your hair looks before you flat iron, the more wild you're gonna have to get with your iron passes, and the more crazy your hair will start to look and feel from excessive heat, which is also known as damage. So when you are rough drying the hair, you wanna make sure that the concentrator nozzle of your dryer is on, as this is gonna allow for direct airflow to keep control of your hair when drying, versus without your concentrator nozzle, your hair tends to sort of blow every which way, and that leads to tangles, frizz, and kind of setting yourself up for more work post blow dry. So always keep that concentrator nozzle on. When creating a smooth, sleek look, during my blow dry, I like to use a vent brush like this one from Cricut. It allows the hair to flow straight through your hair and brush to help speed up the dry time, as well as giving you control to keep your hair smooth. So you can work in sections, or you can leave the hair down and use the brush to assist you in a classic rough blow dry method. It's whatever you find to work best for you and your hair type, but you wanna make sure that you are using a brush to create more smoothness to help prep your hair. So once your hair is fully dry, you will then want to turn your flat iron on and set your heat temperature. This is step 3. So coarse hair types, we're gonna set our irons to 350, and fine hair types, we're gonna set our heat to 330. You will always want to use lower heat than you think you need. Hair is very delicate and fragile, and your mindset needs to be, how can I keep my hair healthy when creating these looks? And later in the video, I'm gonna go over 4 key steps that are gonna ensure the health of your hair, so no matter what your hair routine is, you can always keep it healthy. While our irons are heating up, We're gonna section off our hair so we maintain control when ironing, and we're gonna first spray a heat protectant on our section before we use our iron. This paired with that lower heat is how we maintain our hair's health when flat ironing. We never ever skip this part. It should also be noted that each section of hair when flat ironing should be no larger than about 1 to 2 inches wide. This is gonna allow for that heat protectant to work its way through your hair, as well as even heat distribution when ironing. So you're going to take your section of hair, letting it rest on your comb, and spray the top and bottom section of your hair. This gives coverage to both sides of your section. My favorite product to use for this is Moroccan Oil's Perfect Defense. The aerosol keeps it from spraying out too heavy onto your hair. You don't want to feel like your hair is wet from the product, so just a light coating and the aerosol spray really allows for that. So you'll hold your hair in place with your comb, hold the can out away from your hair, and coat top and bottom section of the hair to get even coverage. After you have sprayed your section with your heat protectant, you will then use your comb to just brush through the section of hair before using your iron. Step 4, we are finally going to use our flat iron. So with our lower heat, to make sure that we smooth the hair out, you want to glide the iron through at a pace of medium speed. So not so fast like you're setting a world record, but not so slow that you're never getting the job done. Moving the iron at medium speed allows the heat, even at a lower temperature, to work its way through your hair to get the smooth look. You'll also want to use your comb as a tool when flat ironing your hair. The comb allows you to keep tension in your hair while using your iron so you get that smoother look. It also prevents the hair from tangling, so that leads to less breakage. And you're just gonna continue those same steps through the rest of your hair, remembering to coat each section of hair, top and bottom, with your heat protectant. Move the iron through at a medium speed to allow the heat to work its way through your hair, and use your comb to maintain tension and control. If you have very frizzy or curly hair, you wanna make sure that you are getting the iron as close as you can to your root area in order to really smooth the hair out here. I like to hold my section of hair out and place my iron in as close as I can, and you're gonna tap twice, and then you will glide your iron through your hair. You wanna be sure you are doing this all throughout your sections to keep control over that frizz and curl. The hair along your hairline, you'll want to take smaller sections when using your iron at your roots to get max control over your frizz here. This area gets frizzy first from sweat and the heat our body naturally produces, so the smaller sections are going to allow that heat to work almost double time. After you have ironed your last and final piece of hair, it is time to set this beauty into place. You can opt to use a hairspray or an oil to add hold or hydration to your hair. And my final product recommendation is to use an anti-humidity spray like Amika's The Shield. This product is actually going to be used for all 3 of our looks today. It is the perfect product to fight against humidity when you're out and about for the rest of the week, and it's very lightweight. You will have a shiny, smooth, sleek look that will last because you took the proper steps. I'm gonna link everything used in today's video in the description and pinned comment, so be sure to check it out if you are in need of anything. You'll also find video links to any previously mentioned videos, and most importantly, be sure to share with me in the comments which of these 3 looks you like best. I am so indecisive at all times and I can never pick a favorite, so I can't wait to hear which one is your favorite. Look 2, curled with volume. So curling your hair with a flat iron requires similar prep to your hair as when you actually want a smooth, sleek look. However, if your hair often fights to hold a curl, you're going to want to tweak the types of products that you use. This is because while maybe some of you have naturally curly hair or straight hair, the curls created with a flat iron are not your hair's natural shape, and your hair is sort of in a fight with itself to go back to what it thinks it should look like. It can feel like you're in an endless Fight against yourself, but with these next steps, you will also emerge champion of your own hair. If you find yourself with naturally flat, fine, stick straight hair, you are going to want to up the amount of volume products you use compared to when wearing a smooth, sleek look. Because our hair is already fine and straight, you are forcing your hair to go all the way from A to Z, and that requires a bit more prep work. So in the shower, you want to be sure to use both a volume shampoo and conditioner, as these are formulated to specifically add more texture and volume to your hair, which is a key foundation for creating these curls. You're gonna want to use your volume mousse, same as with your smooth, sleek blow dry look, but you're gonna wanna pair a volume cream that adds more hold to your hair than a mousse alone. My two favorite options for this are IGK's Bouncy Blowout Cream or Kenra's Perfect Blowout. These both give you an added boost of volume while giving a little bit more hold to your hair. For those with more coarse hair, but you still feel like your curls fall flat, pair a medium to strong hold gel with your smoothing products to help your curls lock into place. My absolute favorite option for this and this hair type is Moroccan Oil's Strong Styling Gel. This gives ample texture and hold to your hair without it feeling stiff. So you would want to first add your smoothing lotion and then work that product into your hair. The key with product prep is setting your hair up to be able to allow you to create the style it is that you're aiming for. So you're not always going to use just the same one single product for every look. You should expect to need anywhere from 2 to 4 different products that you're either going to combine or swap out for one another depending on the look you're going for. So with look 2, you can blow dry your hair the same as we did in look 1, using the vented brush to help speed up that process and maintain control when drying. If you want to create more volume at your roots, lift your hair straight up with the brush if you are working in sections, or brush your hair in the opposite direction to help give you that extra lift if you do a traditional rough dry. When creating curls, your hair must be 100% dry. If there is even the slightest amount of dampness in the hair, it's gonna cause your curls to fall flat. Just like a single drop of water on a paper towel, it spreads out and is absorbed in more areas of the paper towel. So any moisture left in your hair is gonna spread through the rest of your hair, sort of trying to dry itself, which increases the chance of your curls falling flat. So feel around. If your hair feels cool or damp to the touch, spend a few more minutes drying your hair before reaching for your iron. So now that our hair is dry, like we did in look 1, we're going to set the temperature of our flat iron. And while it may feel like you need to up the heat to get your curl to form, you need to keep it low. Curling the hair with a flat iron is a bit more difficult than straightening it is. And because of this, it's likely that you're gonna have to curl some pieces of your hair twice to get the curl to look how you want. Even 17 years into doing hair, I still don't always like how every single curl comes out. So don't feel like each curl has to be perfection every single time. You can go over it twice, but this is why we keep that heat low. Maintaining the health of our hair is the utmost importance here, so low heat always. So you'll section your hair and spray it with heat protection just like we did when straightening it. Hold that can out, lightly spray top and bottom of the section. Again, I love Moroccan Oil's Perfect Defense for this, as it's an aerosol spray, so it's not heavy. And then you're gonna brush that product through your hair to make sure that it's evenly spread. This is now where we get into the difference of technique when using our flat iron. The speed at which you swoosh that flat iron through your hair is what's going to determine how tight or how loose your curl is. Faster movements, you're gonna get a looser curl, and slower movements, it's going to be a more defined, slightly bouncier curl. To show you how to curl your hair, you're gonna grab a long section of hair and place your iron in at the very top. You're gonna roll your hair through the iron while twisting it with your hands. And when you get to the middle to lower section of your hair, slowly twist the iron out and gently pull at those ends. This creates more of a textured wave as the ends look a little bit more straight. If you like a classic look, you can opt to roll all of the hair through the iron to create that bend and bounce in the ends rather than twisting. It has a more classic curl look. I will say though, I feel like the twisting method creates a little bit more of a cohesive look because a flat iron is made up of flat plates. It's going to naturally create a more flat look through the top of our hair. Yes, you do have some bend, of course, but nothing like you do with a traditional curling iron. So with the twisting method, you're able to have what looks more even with the smoothness on top and through your ends. When you opt to curl all of the ends through the iron, you get this bouncy, voluminous look at the ends, but not so much at your top. And I just feel that it doesn't have the same flow. I have an entire video that shows you the difference between flat iron and curling iron curls that I'll link below, where I dive deeper on this topic. So if you want to see more, I would hop over to that video next. Another difference in prep and products with look 2 versus look 1 is we are going to incorporate using a texture spray to help our curls stay intact. Remember, we are fighting how our hair naturally wants to lay. So the texture spray adds the grip and hold to our hair that it needs to maintain its curl. I like using Sexy Hair's High Tide. This is just enough texture without feeling too heavy or too producty. And you're gonna lightly spray this on each section before moving on to the next after you have curled all of your hair. You're also going to wanna be sure when you are curling your hair with a flat iron that you're not squeezing the iron super tight. You need to be able to glide that iron through your hair to create the curl, so light pressure to be able to rotate your hair through the iron. So you're gonna repeat these same steps. You're gonna make sure that you have coated your section of hair with the heat protection, top and bottom. You're gonna place that iron in at the top, close the iron with light pressure, and rotate through your hair, twisting the iron out the hair halfway down, and then gently pulling at those ends through the iron. Grab your texture spray High Tide and lightly coat your hair to lock that curl into place. Upon finishing your curls, you can use your texture spray a bit more to add more volume and texture through the hair. I spray this onto my hair similar to how you do hairspray, and like we did in look 1, we are going to use Amika's The Shield to create that layer of protection against humidity. We have fabulous curls that are going to last and be perfect to pair for your fun night out. Whether your style is more edgy or classic, these curls work for any look. Importance of hair health. I've got a question for you that I need answered before moving into look 3. How many of you feel that it's impossible to use a flat iron on your hair and keep it healthy? A simple yes, it's possible, or no, it's not will do for your answers. If you guess no, it's not, you are correct. As we age, our hair changes, becoming more dry and more brittle. But the good news is that with the right approach, you can keep your hair healthy and still enjoy your flat iron. It's only when you neglect certain things that it becomes impossible to use this tool and maintain your hair's health. There are 4 key steps that need to be followed when it comes to heat styling, and we have already mentioned 2 of them: keeping your heat low and using a heat protectant. I've mentioned in a previous curling video that practice makes perfect, and the best part about iron styling is that you can practice all 3 of these techniques with the iron turned off to get used to the movement. When you don't have the technique down, it's easy to feel like you need to use higher heat to get your hair to style how we want it to. We get impatient and we think, if only it was hotter, this would have worked. But instead, the right speeds and motions that you move the iron through your hair is what creates the shape, not heat alone. So take your time, practice makes perfect, and keep your heat low at all times. Using a heat protectant is a step that you will never, ever, ever skip. This is a sunscreen to your hair, and while using lower heat is less damaging, you still need protection. Just like the harsh sun rays work their way through a cloudy day, so does heat damage to your hair, so we never skip our heat protectant around here. Our last 2 steps for maintaining the health of our hair are 2 very simple things. Avoid overstyling and use a repair treatment. Why do we do this? Your hair, it's part of your identity. Healthy hair is always going to be a confidence booster, and these two final steps help ensure that your hair stays healthy, especially when paired with the first two. When you overstyle your hair, this leads to cumulative damage. If you have a favorite dress or sweater, are you wearing and washing it every single day? Probably not, because you know that it would wear out fast. The same goes for your hair. It's okay if you have to touch up a few pieces of hair on your day 2 or 3, but we need to limit heat exposure to just 2 to 3 times a week. This way, when you do wear your favorite dress or sweater, your hair looks just as great as your item of clothing does. Using a repair mask is like a spa day for your hair, helping to reverse damage from styling and heat. Repair masks like K18 work to repair damaged hair at its core. It is like a master key that fits perfectly into the locks of your hair structure, opening the door to all of the repair benefits so you keep your hair from becoming damaged. While overstyling your hair leads to cumulative damage, K18 leads to cumulative repair, meaning the longer you use it, the more benefits your hair reaps from it. This comes in as the ultimate insurance policy for your hair, as well as giving protection when it comes to heat styling. You should be aiming to use this treatment twice a month for long-lasting results. It can be applied in the shower after your shampoo or post-shower as a leave-in treatment. I will link a video below that touches more on repair products if you wanna check them out. Look 3, soft bend waves. Our third and final look is perhaps our easiest look. Save the easiest for last. This look screams, I woke up like this, and is meant to look like a lived-in second day hair kind of look. This is actually a great look to pair with look 1 later in your week, so you get 2 looks in 1 week with only using heat on your hair twice in a week. A true win-win. This look, you will prep your hair with products the same as you did for look 2, and you will want to blow dry your hair the same as well. I think this look of all 3 requires the least amount of heat, and we're gonna drop our heat for fine hair down to 310, and for coarse hair, we're gonna drop it down to 330. I urge you, if you're able to, or you wanna try to, go even lower if you can, because this look is meant to be very soft. It doesn't require high heat temperatures at all. So keep it low as possible if you're able to get the bend. So I'm gonna show you this motion first with my iron off, as this is a rocking method over curling. We're gonna place our iron in up top and gently rock back and forth on the hair. You can start your rock by working out or in first, it's personal preference. I'm choosing to rock out away from my head first. The more you rock, the more bend you're gonna create, and the more like 80s it might start to look. So less rocking for less bend, and your hair's length will also play a factor in how many rocks you do or don't do. So iron in, rock up and out, gliding your iron, rock in, rock back out, and rock your ends in slightly. The speed you move your iron, much like in look 1 and 2, plays a role. If you move your iron through your hair faster, it's going to create less shape. If you move the iron slower, it creates more bend. This technique really can be made to be very customizable depending on how you want it to look, and it's a very easy look to create. After you have curled each section, like in look 2, you can opt to use your texture spray High Tide to help set this bend into place, which is gonna be key for those of you that your hair likes to fall flat, okay? So use the texture spray. You'll remember to spray your heat protectant onto each section when moving up the rest of your hair. If you want to create more texture, you can opt to change the direction of the rock. So some sections of hair, you can start by going in with your iron. Some you can end by going out with your iron. It's all personal preference. I personally like to go out and always end with going in. Here you can see the visual difference between the two. They look very similar. It's just a difference in motions of how you rock your iron in first. I like my ends, like I said, to have a little bend going in. So I'll just go in at times and just bend those ends in some with my iron. It's very easy to do, and this is really just a fun, easy look. Through my top and final section, I like adding in a few curls with my iron to create just a touch more volume. I like to do this mostly around my face to create more texture. Using this technique from look 2 really blends well with this technique for look 3. It is totally optional to do this. It's just my personal preference to kick it up just a little bit. I love using high tide again with this look to just up the texture here a bit. You can hold your hair up in sections to work the product closer to your roots for more volume. To complete this look, we're gonna use that Amika's the Shield to create that wall of protection against humidity. This product is very lightweight and can be used every day prior to leaving the house to help keep those waves intact. Remember, look 3 is meant to look soft and lived in. It's meant to make you feel like you're living your best relaxed life. Here we have a recap of each look, and be sure to let me know in the comments which look is your favorite. Is it sleek and smooth with look 1, curled and classic with look 2, or relaxed and lived in with look 3? If you want to see even more tips on curling with a flat iron, be sure to check out this video right here. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, that you learned something, and that you had fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.